What's up, everyone? Welcome back to C&D Sports, our build or rebuild series, where we go through some teams in the offseason that we think changes need to be made, whether that's just retooling, whether that's building a certain area up, or whether that's a full-scale rebuild. So the last week, as you can find on our YouTube channels, we covered the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Edmonton Oilers. This week, we're shifting to basketball. So basketball is our focus. So we'll start. I know we got a lot of Raptors fans watching us, being from Canada. So let's talk about the Toronto Raptors.
So the one thing that intrigues me, the first thing that intrigues me with Toronto and their future is Kyle Lowry. He's been so integral to what they've accomplished. He's been their arguably the most important player to their franchise all time.
Yeah.
He's 35, and if he wants to win, he's
got
likely has to go elsewhere.
I thought they should have traded him at the deadline.
Yeah.
I think this sets back their rebuild a little bit because they could have gotten something from a contender back for him. So
for sure.
Yeah.
So with that, I think their backcourt of Gary Trent and Fred VanVleet.
Yeah. I
good.
like that.
Now the second piece is Siakam. There's potential for him to get traded.
But he just had surgery. That's going to keep him out for 5 months.
Okay.
Whether he's healthy for the start of the season is interesting, and whether he's just motivated to play, because he was one of those guys that just kind of packed it in real early, and you could tell the way he was playing, his attitude. I don't know. I think the fact that he's having surgery now lessens his trade value, so it makes it harder for him to deal. So I'd probably, as of today, lean towards him staying. That could develop throughout the offseason, and we'll keep track of that. But I think he's going to stay. And maybe they look for a trade for him when he's healthy.
Maybe. But I look at this starting lineup, and let's say it's a healthy team.
Yeah.
Because we're assuming Kyle Lowry's gone. You have Van Vliet.
Yeah.
You have Trent Jr.
Yeah.
Then you have Anunoby,
Yep.
Siakam, and Boucher.
Yeah.
It's a solid roster, but now they're relying on the depth that they used to get that championship without the star power.
Yeah, they're relying on that depth to be the star power.
So what do they do? Can they bring somebody in? Do they continue to build from within? Like, is this a full rebuild, or can they retool and bounce back quickly?
I think they can retool with that starting lineup they have. And when Siakam's healthy, maybe they explore a trade for him. If you can get something back to really ramp this up, they're going to have a good draft pick this year in a deeper draft. Maybe they could potentially get a guy like Evan Mobley or Jalen Suggs who would really fit in well with this system on the forward core. I think in terms of free agency, they need to look at a center.
Yeah, a big at least, because Boucher you can.
Because you got Boucher, you've got Kem Birch. I like Kem Birch. I like Kem Birch off the bench.
You think Aaron Baines coming back? I don't think so.
I think they look for a way to, because he's still there. He's a free agent next year.
No, he has a team option.
Oh, it's a team option for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I knew it was an option. I thought it was a player option.
No, so they can part, and I think it'd be in their best interest to do so.
Okay, but Kem Birch is good. Like Freddie Gillespie showed, like they've got depth, but they need that star power at center, because that's what they tried to get out of Baines, and they couldn't get it.
Yeah, in a big position, they definitely need a star.
Yeah, because they've got Boucher and Siakam that can play, but they need someone to complement Birch off the bench, or move Boucher to the bench.
So what do you think? Cody Zeller, you think they bring back Ibaka? Because it's slim pickings for a center this year.
They might look at a guy like Enes Kanter.
Okay.
Maybe. That of course gets tricky because of the fact that he can't really travel very freely just because of the issues he's facing with the Turkish government. But I think someone like that, maybe not him specifically, but someone that is a higher caliber, is capable of starting. He has done it before, but
it's slim in terms of bigs.
And there's a big drop off.
Yeah.
It's like you've got you've got Vucevic, you've got Nurkic, and then it just kind of drops off after that. Like I don't know. Maybe they explore something with the Celtics for Tristan Thompson. I don't know.
Bring him back to the Toronto area. Brampton mans represent.
But they need a big.
Yeah, for sure.
They need a big. And I think
I think that's where most of their problems are going to rely, big and star powers. And they need another star on this team if they're going to come back next year. So that's why I think it may be wise to commit to not a long-term rebuild, but maybe go another year in which you're building your team up.
Yeah.
So you can hit free agency with some money to get a big name player.
As I think the biggest blow to the Raptors was
losing Kawhi.
And then I think they were gearing up to try to offer Giannis a contract, and when he got that supermax before this season began, that was who they were going after. You could tell that's who Masai wanted there.
Yep.
And I think the only other need that they'd have in that case is just some guard help behind Fred and Gary Trent.
They need
they
some
just need
bench
depth.
guys.
They just need depth all around. I think in terms of like they need a legitimate big to add to that rotation. But I don't know if it's a full. They're a tough team. It's really tough when you're talking about a team that just won in 2019.
They're a tweener, but they lost the guy they won with.
Exactly, and it's
the big piece. Their championship.
But they came back strong and almost made the Eastern Conference Finals again last year if it wasn't for that Game 7 magic from Boston. So
but they wouldn't have beat Miami.
No,
they definitely would not have beat
But to go back to the Eastern Conference Finals as opposed to being knocked out in the second round, you're at a different spot in terms of where you build from. So
fair. But at the same time, they're or at least Kyle Lowry's getting older.
Yeah.
Ibaka was there.
Yeah, he was there.
He was getting older. I believe Gasol was also there.
Gasol was still there, yeah.
Yeah, everybody was there except Kawhi. So they ran it back, right? So you lost Gasol, Ibaka, and Kyle Lowry's getting older. So you can't. The comparison is a little thin in that context. But
yeah, you got to see. We don't really. There's a lot of approaches they could take.
Yeah.
But especially now with the play-in tournament.
Yeah, all I can say is they need a big star.
Yeah.
Or they need a big.
And they need to draft well this year too.
Yeah.
To have that, they haven't drafted that high in a while. So to have the ability to build around someone young and hopefully land a superstar would be big for a team that's not necessarily a big market team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I have there. We'll have to wait and see with them. So that'll do it for this episode of Build or Rebuild. These come out midweek, so make sure you watch our subscribe to our channel here so you don't miss out on when these are uploaded. Make sure you subscribe, find our links to all our socials below, and that'll do it. We'll see you on the next episode of Build or Rebuild. Peace.